This is Google Home, a smart speaker that taps into the same sort of voice-controlled operation you may be familiar with from your smartphone, bringing it to your home's living spaces. While it's easy to view as a direct response to the success of Amazon's Echo, it's also a product that feels like a bit of an inevitability for Google in its own right. Is there a place for one in your workspace or living room? Let's take a look at what the hardware can do. I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena, bringing you my review of Google Home.
Smartphone users have been talking to their phones for years now, as voice assistants help us set up appointments, manage shopping lists, and look up searches for us online. Once the success of the Amazon Echo proved that there was also demand for that sort of technology in our houses, it was just a matter of time before we saw products like Google Home arrive to put their own spin on that same kind of usage. Google Home may not look like all that much, a near featureless, slightly tapered cylinder with a sloped top, but that'll hide some powerful hardware lurking within. First and foremost, Google Home is a speaker, and concealed under the bottom grille we find the unit's speaker array, one main front-facing driver and two passive radiators, one to each side. They may look tiny, but that package adds up to one capable of producing some seriously room-filling sound with especially nice bass reproduction. The gray cloth fabric grille you see here is Home's default, but Google also sells a variety of alternate colors and materials. They all pop on and off easily with the help of a couple magnets, and prices for the optional styles range from $20 to $40. Down below, you'll also find the connector for Google Home's power supply, delivered via an unobtrusive flat cable. There's also a micro USB port hiding in here, but you'll probably never actually tap into that connector during regular usage. Around back, we see Google Home's singular hardware button, which mutes the unit's microphone.
Microphone off.
That's great for when you want a little privacy, or maybe when you plan to be talking to another voice-driven device, and you don't want to confuse this one with some stray OK Googles. Pressing the button triggers a special LED sequence to let you know when the microphone is still muted. Those LEDs are housed in a ring under Google Home's top surface, where they spin and change colors in response to your various interactions with the smart speaker. The whole top is also a touch panel, which you can control through a variety of taps and swipes. Control's largely intuitive. Tap once to stop music, tap again to start, and even spin your finger around like you're turning a virtual volume knob to control sound levels. Of course, those taps are convenient, but it's voice control where Home really shines, and that volume control is a great demo of its flexibility. You can ask Home to jump right to specific volume levels, give it relative instructions like turning things up by 10 or 20%, or even use less formal speech. Home knows what you mean when you're listening to music and tell Home to crank it. Your voice is picked up from these two long-range microphones up top, and they really do work well over some impressive distances. You can shout at Google Home from rooms away. We even managed up a flight of stairs, and it should still respond appropriately. Setup is a straightforward process as your phone connects to Google Home over Wi-Fi and gets it situated on your local network. There's no Bluetooth or NFC here, everything's over Wi-Fi. We had a little bit of trouble getting it to initially log on to our network, but once those early hiccups were passed, everything started working fine. Google Home has all the power of the Google Assistant, like you'll find on the new Pixel phones, and while its contextual voice processing makes talking with Home much more natural than the old Google Now, there are still limitations. Sometimes you'll struggle to recall the exact right phrasing to make Home behave in the way you expect, and it can be easy to lose track of all the functionality it offers. Let's take a look now at some of what it's able to pull off.
Okay, Google. Where's a supermarket around here?
I found a few places within 4.8 miles. The first one is Whole Foods Market at 15 Washington Street in Brighton. The second one is Chima's Supermarket at 572 Cambridge Street in Boston. The third one is Stop & Shop at 60 Everett Street in Allston.
Okay, Google. What time does that Whole Foods close tonight?
Whole Foods Market is open on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, Google. What's the weather forecast for this weekend?
Friday and Saturday in Boston, it'll be mostly sunny, with highs in the low 30s and lows around 18. It'll be cloudy Sunday, with a high of 40 and a low of 28.
There are also some confusing problems about just what Home's able to do. Consider music playback. If you have a paid Google Play Music account, you're in good shape, but if you're on a free account and simply want to listen to your previously stored Play Music library, you're in for a bit of a fight. Google Home will only let you pull up saved playlists, and you're unable to ask for specific tracks or albums that aren't already on such a playlist. Finally, Google Home can serve as your smart home hub, letting you control the temperature or turn on and off lights, all with the power of your voice. Of course, doing so can require a sizable investment in addition to purchasing Google Home, so don't feel compelled to jump on that bandwagon if you're not ready just yet. You can always upgrade with smart home hardware later on.
Google Home may fundamentally be an experience you're already familiar with, just now in a new form factor, but that shouldn't have you discounting its usefulness. It's great being able to just ask Home what the weather's like before you head out in the morning, especially if you're busy running around and can't keep track of where your phone is at all times. The price is also right, and $130 Google's asking for Home really does feel like a good value for the hardware. So long as you go in aware of its limitations and are willing to be patient as you learn how to interact with the Google Assistant, you should get a lot of enjoyment out of Google Home. I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming video reviews.